To really hone in on specifically McCain Palin. Why?
Well, there's a lot of great movies in this book, but we only have enough time to do one. And we ultimately thought that the story of Sarah Palin and how she was picked and what happened subsequently wasn't just one of the best stories in that book, but one of the greatest political stories of all time. It's truly a unique, dynamic, exciting story, and we genuinely believed it would make the best film out of everything.
Now, we don't want you to talk to anyone until after the convention, because no one knows anything about you. If you answer these ridiculous allegations, you'll be defining yourself in a defensive posture.
But isn't the press defining me right now?
No news story lasts more than 48 hours anymore.
That was when Sarah Palin, had really wanted to respond to a lot of reporters. And I just want you to, in terms of like the meat of part of the film, you really focus on how, a lot of these other vice presidential candidates, I guess, get vetted for months and months. And she goes through this, 5-day process?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit more about that.
Well, the vet, happened unusually quick. And it had to be done at the highest levels of secrecy because they were worried that if it got out that they were trying to vet Sarah Palin, then it would kill the entire surprise of presenting her for the first time. So in having a vet in total secrecy, you're not able to really do a thorough vet because you can't question her political enemies. You can't question reporters in Alaska. It just really limits who you could talk to, and it turned out to be a great disadvantage to them.
How did you corroborate what we saw in the film actually happened? Who were you talking to?
Sure. Well, first off, I used the book as my primary source. It's an outstanding book, was not refuted when it came out in 2010. But then I went out and I interviewed 25 members of the McCain-Palin campaign, and I interviewed people from every single level of that campaign, from the lowest level to the highest levels of the campaign, and I pretty much spoke to almost every character portrayed in the movie, except for McCain and Palin, who denied my requests. And then I also interviewed many people who aren't portrayed in the movie. So I got a huge swath of people who lived the events of the film.
Let's talk about McCain and Palin because they're not seeing the movie. Sarah Palin essentially releasing a statement saying it was a false narrative, and Palin's Political Action Committee just today releasing this video mocking your film. And I just want to read part of the press release. Reads, "Game Change is just the most recent example in a long history of facts being distorted for profit." On top of that, her former aide, Jason Recker, denouncing this whole film and says you backed out on this promise to show him the script ahead of time. Here he is.
February 3rd, I called him. I said, I'm very uneasy with the trailer. It does not represent the narrative that I remember, which was a very positive one from 2008. It does not represent that at all. I'd like to see the movie and be able to respond to it in a whole. When reporters started calling me for reaction to the trailer, he said HBO denied that. I don't understand why.
Did you back out on that promise?
No. Look, I never promised him or anybody anything. And I certainly never promised to show him the script ahead of time, which is what he's claiming right now. As far as asking if he could see the movie, about 4 weeks ago when he called, I told him that, we're not going to give him the movie. We're going to show the movie to Governor Palin. And we offered to show the movie to Governor Palin because she's one of the main characters portrayed in the film. And we said she could bring any of her aides that she so desires. And then Governor Palin denied that offer.